Gerry and the Pacemakers were an English beat group prominent during the 1960s. In common with the Beatles, they came from Liverpool, were managed by Brian Epstein, and were recorded by George Martin. They are most remembered for being the first act to reach number 1 in the UK singles chart with their first 3 single releases. This record was not equalled for 20 years, until the mid-1980s success of fellow Liverpool band Frankie Goes to Hollywood. History: Gerry Marsden formed the group in 1959 with his brother Fred, Les Chadwick and Arthur McMahon. They rivaled the Beatles early in their career, playing in the same areas of Hamburg, Germany and Liverpool. McMahon was replaced on piano by Les Maguire around 1961. They are known to have rehearsed at Camel Lead Shipping Yard at Birkenhead. The group's original name was Gerry Marsden and the Mars Bars, but they were forced to change this, when the Mars Company, producers of the chocolate Mars bar, complained. The band was the second to sign with Brian Epstein, who later signed them with Columbia Records. They began recording in early 1963 with How Do You Do It?, a song written by Mitch Murray, that Adam Faith had turned down and one that the Beatles chose not to release. The song was produced by George Martin and became a number 1 hit in the UK, the first by an Epstein Liverpool group to achieve this on all charts, until being replaced at the top by From Me to You, the Beatles' third single. Gerry and the Pacemakers' next 2 singles, Murray's I Like It, and Rodgers and Hammerstein's You'll Never Walk Alone, both also reached number 1 in the UK singles chart, the latter recorded instead of the Beatles' Hello Little Girl, which went on to become the first hit for the Foremost. You'll Never Walk Alone had been a favourite of Gerry Marsden's since seeing Carousel growing up. It quickly became the signature tune of Liverpool Football Club and, later, other sports teams around the world. The song remains a football anthem, there and elsewhere, inspired by Gerry Marsden's rendition rather than the Broadway original. The group narrowly missed a 4th consecutive number 1 when I'm the One was kept off the top spot for 2 weeks in February 1964 by fellow Liverpudlians The Searchers' Needles and Pins. Despite this early success, Gerry and the Pacemakers never had another number 1 single in the UK. Gerry Marsden began writing most of their songs, including I'm the One, It's Gonna Be Alright, and Ferry Cross the Mersey, as well as their first and biggest US hit, Don't Let the Sun Catch You Crying, which peaked at number 4, and which Gerry Marsden initially gave to Decca recording artist Louise Cordet in 1963. She recorded the song, but without commercial success. The song, written by all band members, has also been covered by Les Carl, The Letterman, Jackie DeShannon, Jose Copyright Feliciano, Dr. John, Ricky Lee Jones, Gloria Estefan among others. They also starred in an early 1965 film called Ferry Cross the Mersey, for which Marsden wrote much of the soundtrack. The title song was revived in 1989 as a charity single for an appeal in response to the Hillsborough football crowd disaster, giving Marsden a euro in association with other Liverpool stars, including Paul McCartney and Frankie Goes to Hollywood's Holly Johnson a euro another British number 1. In the US, their recordings were released by the small New York City record label Lorry in 1963, with whom they issued 4 singles during 1963 without success. When the Beatles broke through in January 1964, Lorry's next regular single release of Don't Let the Sun Catch You Crying became a big hit, and during 1964 Lorry coupled How Do You Do It with You'll Never Walk Alone, and I Like It with Jambalaya with some success. By late 1965, their popularity was rapidly declining on both sides of the Atlantic. They disbanded in October 1966, with much of their latter recorded material never released in the UK. Drummer Freddie Marsden, born Frederick John Marsden, November 23, 1940, at 8 Menzies Street, Toxteth, Liverpool, died on December 9, 2006 in Southport, age 66. Discography == singles. In the United States, a different series of Gerry and the Pacemakers singles was issued, as their Lorry Records label created more albums, and at least 2 singles, which were never issued in Britain. This was a standard practice at the time. It also happened with the Beatles and the Dave Clark 5. Note: The US single of I'll Be There is an alternate take and all subsequent reissues use the original UK take. Albums equals, a Euro soundtrack, includes other artists. See also, List of artists who reached number 1 on the UK singles chart, List of artists by total number of UK number 1 singles, List of Columbia Graphophone Company artists, List of bands from Merseyside, List of performers on Top of the Pops. Quotation: in 1963, Gerry Marsden was quoted as saying a Euro, NME a Euro August 1963. References. External links, official site, Classic Bands History page, Gerry and the Pacemakers fan site.